discuss about lists. Okay, uh, one of the thing that I want you to understand is that this environment. Okay, so this is called as a Jupyter notebook environment. Okay, so it not only supports Python, it also supports programming language like R. And one of the beauty of this environment is that you can actually do not need installation at your machine. Okay, so these are uh, uh, kind of web-based interactive platforms where you can write your code and save it over there. Okay, so the particular environment that I'm using is the Kaggle environment, and what I will do is I will share this notebook with you. So you can, so these are called notebooks. Okay, and actually you can change the code. You can do some experiments and learn. Okay, now there are two basic type of cells in a Jupyter environment. Okay, one is your code segment, another is your markdown segment. So code is, you can understand, so that's where you are going to write your code, and markdown is the area where you are going to describe your code. Okay, so what is a list? Now let's look at that. So a list is a collection of items in a particular order. Okay, so you already saw that when we are talking about list, we highlighted that it is an ordered sequence. Okay, the order is important. And in Python, when you are creating a list, you use the square brackets. Okay, and within the square brackets, when you use, so there will be multiple elements within a list. So how do you differentiate between elements? So you use a comma. So the elements are separated by comma. So let's look at an example. Okay, let's create a list. So here we are creating a so this is a code cell. Okay, and you can see that this is grayed out. From that you can understand. And we are creating a code which is like bicycles. We are creating a list. Okay, and these are the different values of the bicycles. Okay, a trek and Canadell, red line, specialized. So these are different type of bicycles. And once I just once I click on the cell, you see that we are getting kind of a play button which says execute cell. And actually I can also execute line by line. The symbol will change. Okay, it says execute highlighted cell. So I run this. So my bicycle variable is created. Okay, and you see that we are not defining any variable anywhere, right? We are directly assign the values. Now if I print it, you see that these are the different values. Okay, so print is kind of a function where you just give the name of the variable. Okay, now once we have created, we want to access the element. So just remember that it is zero indexed. Okay, so it starts from the index 0. So if I want to access the second element or the last element, so it will be like this. Okay, so you see that these elements are printed, and you can of course change and print the first element. And there is a special property of this Python list that if you use this -1, okay, so that means it is the last element. Okay, so you can always access the last element by -1 without actually needing to know that how many elements are there in Python. Okay, so this is about accessing elements. So you have created a list, and you see that how you can access elements. Now we are going to look at how you can change an element. Okay, how you can add elements and how you can remove elements. Okay, so first of all, let's see how to modify or change an element. So we are again taking a list motorcycles, and we are having values like Honda, Yamaha, and Suzuki. Okay, so let me create the list and run it. So you see that these are the different values this particular list has got. Okay, now what we are going to do is we are going to change the value of the 0th element. Okay, so I want to change Honda to Ducati. Okay, so it is, we can simply access this element by motorcycle 0. We have already seen that this is how we can access the element. and we can assign the value. So if I just change this and run, okay, so you see that this value has changed from Honda to Ducati. Okay, so this is how we can modify an element in a list. Okay, how we can add an element. So let's first look at how we can add an element at the last. So for adding an element at the last, we can use a method like append. Okay. So there is also another thing I want you to look at. So basically, when you write here something, let's say you write here motorcycles. Okay. Then you press give a dot and press tab. So what will happen is that it will give you some of the properties or some of the methods that are there. So you can yourself, try playing with this, try playing with these, see that which one is required for you or what each one of them does. Okay, so here what we are going to do is we are going to append a method or use a method called as append. Okay, what append will do, append will actually add an element to the last of this list. Okay, so if I print this now, okay, you see that you have these three elements, and now if I add append this, you see that a new element has been added at the last. Okay, so this is about adding at the last. Now if you want to add at any particular area, right, so what you are going to do is you are going to you have this thing, a list created. Okay, and you are using a method called as insert. So insert has two arguments, because it is not like append that where you are inserting it is implicit. Now, here you need to explicitly mention where you are going to insert. So you are mentioning that you are going to insert at the 0th position and this particular value. Okay, so if I run this now, you will see that it is inserted at the 0th position. And you can try other things as well, right? You can insert at other position. Okay, so you see that it has been appended at the second position, and you can do your own experiments. I have also not tried. If you take some value which is beyond the list, maybe if I give 5, let's see what it gives. Okay, yeah, so you see that it is any value you are taking, probably more than 3, it is inserting at the last place. So this is something very different in Python. But of course, if you don't give the syntax correctly, it will complain. Okay, so if you do like this, it will give you error. So this error, looking at the errors is also very important. See, it is saying that there is a type error. Which line? It is giving you a notation like this, and it says that a string object cannot be interpreted as an integer. So it is saying that you have given a string which the interpreter cannot understand, because it is expecting an integer. Okay, so let me change it back to 0. Okay, and now let's remove an item using the delete statement. So we have seen how to change, we have seen how to insert. Okay, and delete is not a function. Okay, it is a command. So how do you differentiate it? See, when it was a function, it was enclosed by a parenthesis. Okay, any function will be enclosed by parenthesis, like print is a function, like insert is a function, like append was a function. Okay, now what we are going to do is we are going to use this command del, and here you need to mention that in which positions object you are going to delete. Okay, so first, like all type, we'll create this. Okay, and now what we are going to do is we are going to delete this. So the first element is removed. Okay, so this is what is some of the operation of list. Okay, again, like this is the first part. I will take you to the second part, okay, in our next class. Okay,